Hello. It's me, Mitch. I'm here in my apartment in Taiwan where I don't have access to a whole lot of screen recording software. So I'm gonna try my best to discuss the chapter, and the things therein about body image. And this was actually kind of fascinating to me. Um, I've been a little bit back and forth about body image, right? Because there's actually a great variety of actors with different different or actresses with different body types. But Daniels in particular was focused on how we portray athletes, which makes a lot of sense. We use a lot of Photoshop. We make people look thinner than they would actually be. Um, and he's suggesting that that's inaccurate for what an athlete would realistically be like. And I mean, athletes are in great shape. So he's suggesting that you want to make your female athletes a realistic kind of fit rather than an unrealistic Photoshop sort of fit. Otherwise, it's going to make female athletes believe that they're somehow not in shape when they're running marathons, which I think is reasonable. I also think, and this is something that I've helped to for a bit, in superhero movies, we kind of thin down a lot of the actresses. Like the guys are all like buff, like Captain America, um, Thor, all the people that I am not. Um, these guys are ripped. They are jacked. And that's great. That makes a lot of sense because these are people who can crush a human head between their thighs. They are not wimpy human beings. But for people like, Black Widow, I'm trying to think. Some of them have like magic, so that doesn't count. Like Doctor Strange wouldn't be in shape. Like the Wasp, a bunch of those. They wind up going on like pretty strict diets, and the diet isn't like eat more beef and pump iron, you animal. It's like eat some vegetables, slim down, and that's not realistic for the kind of stunts that they'll be performing on these movies. Um, they're characters who are going to like perform like borderline superhuman acts, sometimes even superhuman. And you don't want those people to be skinny. You want them to look like an Olympic athlete. You want them to be just jacked, right? So I think it makes a lot of sense that you would want to portray athletes as, the jacked, muscle bound jocks that they are rather than skinny supermodels. It's a different career choice. And that's not to say that the actresses that we have are a problem. It's just that the diets they're going on and the way that they're preparing for these roles might be a little bit off. And I think it's a little confusing to share biblical and Christian worldview perspectives in regards to body type, since there are people of all sorts of body types, and there are people like me who are twigs, and there are people like Dwayne Johnson that are ripped. But I think if there are people who are concerned about their body and how it works, you can talk to them about how there is no absolute standard for beauty. There's no objective hot. Over here in Taiwan, they stand by a very like Korean standard of beauty. So pale, skinny, like K-pop stars, which is unrealistic for a lot of people. In America, we kind of like a bit thicker. It really depends on where you go, and I think allowing people to embrace what makes them unique, what makes them them, is a really valuable thing. In terms of using this research to help adolescent girls, I think rather than showing like athletes and models as being hot, you want to show them as being jacked, like going out, exercising, doing all these things. I mean, honestly, Nike kind of does this already. They just show people like going for a jog or running around or whatever. And like, there's nothing wrong with a model. Like, sometimes you'll have models that are just showing off that they have a six-pack, and that's okay, I think. I believe that. I believe that a model athlete showing how athletic they are is a great thing, and people can kind of aspire to that, to be in good shape. And, you know, what that is depends from person to person. I am a pencil, so at my best, I'm going to be a toned pencil. Someone who's a bit thicker might, you know, they might not have as defined of a stomach as me at my best, but they might have better arms. You know, it kind of, I think people should just learn to be the best version of them rather than the best version of somebody. That's my personal perspective, and that's where I'm at. So yeah.